I found something that I think the three of us will enjoy talking about.
What do you got?
It's from BuzzFeed, and I saw this in my news feed yesterday and kind of had me laughing. Found it very relatable. It's a quick list of things that frustrating things today's kids will never have to experience.
Okay.
Okay, so check this out. The first one I thought was pretty relatable, at least for me. I may have gone to the movies more than you two did, but having to call a movie theater to find out what time the movie you wanted to see was playing.
Yes.
I had
find the newspaper.
Or I used Movie Phone, if you even remember what that is, where you call a number and that guy would say, hey, here's the time your movie's playing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they won't have to deal with that. They can just go on their phone and it's ready to roll.
Sure.
You have to deal with that, Shandell?
I think that was a little bit before my time.
May have been. Number 2, taking film to be developed only to discover that 99% of the pictures you took were blurry and are no good.
Hated that.
Absolutely hated that.
Absolutely hated that.
I feel like my miss percentage was better than my hit percentage with taking a good picture.
Of course it was.
Now it's so convenient. Now with that one, was that one too old for you too?
No, because we use disposable cameras a lot.
Yeah, that's kind of what they're talking about here. I hated that. Can you imagine if like we had to go back to that today, taking, let's just say you could take your picture on your smartphone, but you can't see it. You had to go get it developed and wait hours and hours. Can you imagine how the world would implode?
Sure.
Exactly. Number 3, turning to the TV Guide channel right after the channel listing you wanted to see has already scrolled. The TV Guide channel wasn't really available where I was, but I used to go through the TV Guide, the actual magazine.
Right. I don't remember. I don't think we had a guide.
Here's a picture of what we're talking about. That thing would just scroll at the bottom.
Yeah.
With all the show times.
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember having that.
What about this, Shandell? Have you ever had to look something up in a phone book?
Not in a really long time.
When you were younger, though, did you have to?
Maybe.
You went to call the department store to see if they had those acid wash Barney jackets?
Yes. Yes.
Or how about this? Listening to the radio all day long to record your favorite song on a cassette tape?
That I do remember.
Oh, you've done that?
Yeah.
I thought that'd be more for Kat and me.
No, I did that too.
Tape after I had an underwear drawer just full of tapes.
It's bad when, because we have posts. As radio personalities now, I know that it's called a post, but at the time I didn't know it was called a post. But you have, the intro to a song that you can talk
right.
over.
And we usually know how long of a post you have to hit.
Right. And so, there were certain songs that the radio DJ was talking into the song and talking over the top of the song, and it got to the point where you listen to the recorded tape so many times.
You can remember what the DJ says.
You knew exactly what he was going to say and exactly when he was going to say it, and you could do it with him just like it was lyrics to the song and the music.
Absolutely. What about this one? I'm sure you guys remember this. Having to wait hours just to download one song on like Kazaa or Napster or whatever you're using back in the day.
I remember that.
LimeWire used to take a while.
Used to take all day.
You could only download like 3 at a time.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah.
And they'll just be like in a holding queue.
Yeah.
And then you come back, after class, be like, maybe it's done by now. Maybe I can listen to that song now. We'll see. Let's see. We'll skip that one. Trying to find the best of the best here. Maybe you guys, Shandell might not, Kat maybe. Finding out you had no blank VHS tapes just a few minutes before you had to record your favorite show.
Yeah, that's a little frustrating.
That one I always related to.
Yes.
Having to find room or whatever. Did you ever record stuff on cassette tape?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Turning on the Weather Channel to get the local forecast, but having to wait a while because they were showing the national forecast. Weather Channel was never a priority of mine.
No, not really.
Here we go. We've talked about this before. Having to make a phone call from a disgusting payphone and making sure you had the change to make the call. Kat and I have been there at least.
Yep.
Shandell?
Not in the United States, only when I left the country.
You've only used phone booths in other countries?
Yeah.
No kidding. I remember having to make collect calls to my mom, but just leaving the message in the name portion of the collect call, pick me up now, Mom, thanks, bye. That would be,
right.
You know what I mean? So she'd know to come pick us up at the movies. Me and my friends are done.
What about calling cards?
Oh, I remember calling cards. We used to get them for Christmas every year, especially when I went away to school and stuff. Yeah, we had the calling cards for long distance calls. Do you remember those?
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going here. Only a few more, Kat.
Okay, what do you got?
If you're hanging with me here. What have I got? I've got a frozen computer. Remember Encarta? finding out the night before a report is due that Encarta did not have any information on the subject matter that you needed.
I don't remember Encarta. What is that?
It was an encyclopedia on a CD-ROM. You know Chandel, don't you?
No.
You don't remember Encarta, really?
No.
What about watching TRL and they'd cut from your favorite music video 6 seconds in to be replacing it with screaming tweens? They're playing your favorite music video, then all of a sudden there's a bunch of girls screaming at you.
Yes.
I remember those. Although I wasn't a big TRL guy. Let's talk about number 13. No one does this anymore. No one does. Waiting in line for hours to get tickets to a concert. Back in the day, people would camp out. I've never done it.
Now, I will tell you, people are still doing it, though, because did you hear about the Foo Fighters tour? Like, their pre-sale was not done online. Their ticket pre-sale was show up at the box office and get in line.
I think they're doing that, though, because people don't do it anymore.
Right.
Because it used to be like one of your...
But I will tell you, too, this past weekend, there was a concert at the Ford Center in the evening, and like 1 o'clock in the afternoon last week. There were people lined up outside waiting to get in.
That makes me happy to hear.
Yeah.
Happy to hear that. When you wanted to watch your favorite movie and realized it wasn't rewound.
Oh, that was enough to drive anybody crazy.
Kids today will never know that struggle. Or when you'd go to rent a movie from Blockbuster and they didn't have any more copies left.
That always sucked.
Hashtag the struggle is real.
Yes.
Having to buy an entire album just for one song you liked.
That really sucked.
It really did. Now, that had advantages and disadvantages. Yes, it would cost more, and sometimes you get a whole lot of bad music, but there were some times where that process turned me on to a lot of great songs too.
Sure.
That I would not have known about in today's day and age. Where nowadays I would just go on and buy the single. I would have had, I wouldn't have heard the rest of Alanis Morissette's album, and I'm glad that I did.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Oh, no, absolutely. It's a great album.
Maybe you'd lend number 17. You'd lend your friend that great album we're talking about, and they return all scratched up.
Oh.
You don't really lend friends albums anymore.
No. I loaned a girl, I had a box set. I had a really nice box set. I wanted it so bad, and it was given to me as a gift.
What was it? Who?
It was a Doors box set. And
Okay.
It had like live cuts of stuff on it from like, the Doors playing like Whiskey a Go-Go in California and CBGB and that kind of stuff. And it was like, it was just really amazing. And I let somebody borrow it, and they were doing some kind of like music report, and they were going to use part of it as their audio or whatever for their project. I got back one of the 4 discs.
Stop it.
I had one of the 4 discs back. One of the discs and cases was gone altogether.
Are you kidding me?
2 empty cases and 1 case with the disc in it.
Put them on blast. Who was this?
It was a girl that I went to school with like a bajillion years ago. The booklet that was in it had a really nice book in it that had all these photographs and stuff. That was gone.
Wow. Unfriend.
I was so unhappy.
Number 18. Getting lost with the printout directions you got from MapQuest.
Oh, God, yes.
I'm thankful that when I started driving, MapQuest was a thing. I never really had to rely on an atlas or a foldable map. I don't know if I would be able to do it quickly. I can tell you that, get home.
I've driven across the country like that with the atlas. I drove from Denver to Wisconsin that way.
Right on. That's cool.
Yeah.
The last one I'm sure will be most relatable to me as opposed to you guys, but having to watch scrambled porn. I remember having to do that.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever watched scrambled porn.
It's not fun. It's like, I think I may have seen a nipple, and I'm hoping that was a girl's, but I can't tell for sure. And I remember I had friends and we would just, if our parents weren't home, we would just put it on.
Sure.
But it's all scrambled.
Yeah.
Kids might not even know what that means today. You could go to a channel and there would be like blurry, naughty movies.
Right.
Those are the days, Cat Michaels.
Sounds like it.
Now, if kids want to access that stuff, they can just do it on their phone.
Oh, yeah.
Just think about how easy it is for them.
That's crazy.
We had to work for it back in the day.
You know what's not on there? Are you done with your list?
That's all I got.
Did it mention dial-up? Did I sleep through dial-up? Like having to,
Kids,
yell at somebody else to get off the phone?
Kids, we had to make sure that our phone line was free back in the day. And then we'd have to take the wire out of the phone and into the computer. Mm-hmm. And then the computer would dial a number. You'd hear all these weird sound effects, and then all of a sudden you'd be connected to AOL in blazing 32 kbs speed.
Which is like turtle slow, by the way.
Exactly.
But yeah, it was. Can you imagine, Rob, get off the computer. I need to use the phone. I need to make a phone call.
Or like if someone would pick up the phone while the computer was dialing, you could